this too grindy or not grindy enough?
Lieutenant, stop it.
This is it, right? Huh? This is that Goldilocks grind where the grind is just right.
I posted a picture of my dinner over an hour ago and no one's liked or commented yet. Oh wait, there's a like. It's from my mom. Oh, that doesn't count. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Today we're gonna have a great time diving into episode 7 of The Orville, Majority Rule. When two Union anthropologists go missing on a planet similar to 21st century Earth, Ed sends a team led by Kelly to find them. But the mission quickly goes awry when John gets arrested and they realize the society's government is completely based on a public voting system to determine punishment. Having to work fast, the rest of the crew, with the help of a new friend, have to figure out how to manipulate this strange form of social media justice in order to save John from getting lobotomized. There's seriously a lot to unpack in this episode. I'll tell you right up front though, that I loved Majority Rule. Yeah, I know, I say that about every episode, but it's true! Majority Rule gets a big upvote from me, you guys, and to give you fair warning, this episode of Talking The Orville is jammed-packed with 510% more words coming out of my face mouth. So one thing this episode of The Orville has done is put every single person in our society on blast. If you watched this episode and didn't feel mocked or at least ashamed a little bit, then you weren't paying attention. In Majority Rule, we're introduced to a society that runs on the idea of true unstructured democracy, meaning that every aspect of their world is voted upon by the people using social media and smart devices. Not only are crimes determined and punished by getting upvotes or downvotes, but even facts, or should I say alternative facts, are determined in this fashion as well. Opinions and emotion guides this society, not truth and justice. Though our rule of law isn't guided by this twisted form of social media frenzy per se, in the last decade or so our regular lives have been. I mean, how many times have you personally seen or heard about someone whose life has been turned upside down because of something they might have done online? Whether it be just by them making an offhanded comment or having a video captured and uploaded that they didn't plan on people seeing at all. This sad lady here wasn't even allowed to buy a cup of coffee because she had too many downvotes. Votes that she claims she received when she was in her 20s. So we know what she was doing in her 20s. Sometimes the wrong viral video can ruin your life. Other times it can bring you undeserved fame and fortune. And besides getting so many comments from you guys about how much you love this episode and that you really appreciated the social commentary, I'm also getting a lot more than usual comments from people that hated this episode, calling it social justice warrior propaganda and preachy, and that it's trying to make us all politically correct. But that just shows that they didn't get it, because this episode is also calling out all the social justice warrior stuff and political correctness as well. When the two Union anthropologists are arrested for not offering their seat to a pregnant woman that they didn't even notice was standing beside them, the show is pointing out how ridiculous it is when society too easily gets offended and overreacts and blows everything out of proportion. And notice that whoever uploaded this screenshot was sitting down and didn't offer their seat to the lady. Just another troll trying to start some shiz. When we're first introduced to the planet, we see everyone going out of their way to kiss everyone else's ass to try to avoid getting a downvote. Everyone is being far too nice and politically correct to each other, all for the purpose of some sort of personal gain. Everyone's trying to appear as the most awesome version of themselves, much like most of us do on Facebook every day. And I'm sorry, but none of us are as interesting, good looking, or as clever as we try to come off as online. Nobody cares that you're going to the gym or eating food. There doesn't appear to be a government as we would understand it on this world either. Instead, just officers whose job it is to carry out the will of the people's upvotes or downvotes. If you get too many downvotes, you have to go on an apology tour to try and win support back from the people. Much like celebrities have to do when they share an opinion online and everyone on Twitter gets butthurt. This episode was written by Seth MacFarlane, you guys, and he's definitely holding up a mirror to society. Or, as some of you might say, he's holding up a black mirror to society. Being that in an episode of Black Mirror called Nosedive, people give a little bit too much importance to being upvoted or downvoted on social media. Oh, and that reminds me, don't forget to like and subscribe. But MacFarlane takes this idea much further by writing about a world where the entire legal system has been replaced by social media. You can be deemed a criminal in this world simply by having more than 500,000 7 downvotes. In fact, Lysella gives the union anthropologist a downvote just because she didn't like the way they looked. Basically, you can become a criminal just by having a punchable face. If our society ran this way, the entire cast of the Ghostbusters reboot would be on death row right now. But I also want to quickly bring up some other things about this episode. One thing that stood out to me instantly when Kelly and the rest of the away team finally made it to the planet is look how freaking tall Kelly is compared to everybody else. It's as if she's an Amazonian like Wonder Woman or something. Oh wait, she was Wonder Woman. Adrienne Palicki, who plays Kelly, is 5'11", which is tall for a woman, I guess, but it's not that tall. Which leads me to my real question. How short is everyone else on the show? She's towering over John Lamar. What the fuck? In my previous video about this episode, I said I was gonna say boom bitch every time John said something funny and or badass, and I kept my promise.
If I wanted to scratch my balls right now, I'd have to reach in my back pocket.
Boom
Yeah,
bitch.
well, why are you sitting like that?
It's these friggin' jeans. If I lean back right now, I'd give myself a vasectomy.
Boom bitch.
I just want to say, all y'all can suck ass, and I'm a spaceman.
Boom bitch. When Malloy makes the wisecrack about this planet being ruled as government by American Idol, we learn that Bortus can sing. We find out that Alara could really pull off a Kelvig no-polo hat really well. John hates skinny jeans, and that Dr. Finn is a racist.
What are you doing? I'm making you a wrap. It's not super fashionable to cover that washboard forehead of yours.
Wow, full service.
In the exciting conclusion of Majority Rule, the crew has to work together to try and figure out how to hijack the planet's social media feed and get John an influx of upvotes in order to save his brain from being fried. And they did this in the most brilliant way possible. They changed public opinion by flooding the feed with the most annoying viral posts they could think of. John supports his grandmother financially. He used to be fat as a kid, faking a video of him being reunited with his dog Chuckles after returning from war. This, of course, being a comment on how easily our world views can be altered by trolls getting their hands on our news feeds, which is something that actually happens. And I did like how at the end, when life went back to normal and Lysella was again watching someone on an apology tour on The Breakfast Show, that she resisted her urge to cast a vote and just turned her device off instead. An action we can all probably benefit from doing every once in a while instead of being sucked into the drama. Sometimes you gotta turn off the TV and go outside and play. But one thing that I found weird about this episode is the fact that people can upvote or downvote you by actually reaching over and pressing your badge. I think that's weird that you'd have to actually reach towards someone, violate their personal bubble, and basically touch them in order to give a vote as to whether or not you like them or not. I mean, why don't they just use their smart devices? It seems like everybody's carrying one. Lysella actually had to reach over the counter towards John when she wanted to give him the finger. That wouldn't work here in Earth society, especially if you're a dude that looks like me who's trying to give an upvote to 7 of 9 while riding in an elevator together. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. How about you? How do you think this majority rule society compares or contrasts to our own? Do you think the episode brings up some valid points, or have you decided to give it a downvote? You can let me know by joining the conversation below. Special shout out to Talking The Orville superfan David Jansen, who started supporting the show with Patreon this week. You're now in the lead for my favoritist human right now, and I hope you know that deep inside your widow heart, you rock. And if you want to help support future episodes of Talking The Orville and Egotastic FunTime, I'd appreciate it if you click on that damn Patreon link in the description of this video. I'd also like to shamelessly plug my current batch of Talking The Orville shirts now on Amazon. Happy Arbor Day and Have a Slimy Day t-shirts are both available now. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to my stupid show, you guys. It really does mean the world to me. I'll see you next time, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye!
Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give him all your money. You will find it funny. Just give me money. I love money. Give him all your 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 money.